Hi, welcome to Inside the Writer Studio. I'm your host, Nick Masmanian. This is the first post in this video series, and I'm doing it because I want to talk about writing, and writers need to talk about writing rather than just write about writing all the time. And I want to talk about something that I feel like needs to be said. Just because you write something doesn't mean you need to post it online. You don't. There's no reason to. If you want to post it, you can, but you should never feel the pressure to share. You should just be able to write for yourself, and that's fine. A friend of mine, who I would love to read her stories, has said she'll never let me read them, and that's fine. That is her decision. I'm just so curious about it. I would love to read it. Whether or not it would be any good or not, I don't know, but that's not really the point of why she's writing them. She's writing them for herself. And that's really fine. That's the first step in all this, is that you have to entertain yourself. You're the first reader as the writer. If you're not entertaining yourself, then how do you, or why would you think anybody would spend the time or the money to read your work? So when you're writing, you got to make sure you're writing for yourself first. And while I do publish a lot of my work because I want people to read it and I want people to enjoy my work and everything else in between, ultimately, if I write something and I go, this is garbage, you're never going to see it. Maybe I'll post it one day when I'm immensely old and my name is everywhere and people are really curious about the garbage that I never published. I actually picked up a David Sedaris book, who's not garbage, just doesn't relate. It's a matter of, I picked up his book on like journals, like he had written for decades. And yet they're very short, which showed me that I could write short journaling because I need to get better at journaling. And the fact is, it's kind of, in a way, like, it's interesting for him to share himself. But between him and Ursula Lewin, I think, I can't remember her last name right now. She also had a book of short stories that were published in chronological order to show her development as a writer. So between him and his entries about his life, and I've never read anything by David Sedaris. This is my first David Sedaris book. And it's very intriguing. And also, what the hell? But between those two books, it's very interesting to see, like, once you reach a certain point in your writerhood, people are really interested in seeing those, like, B-sides of stuff because they're just interested in reading more about what didn't make the cut or what changed about you when you were writing. And there's something to be learned from that, I feel. But ultimately, it just comes back to you write for yourself, not for everyone else. If you're writing for a market, that's one thing to think about, I guess. But frankly, you got to be able to write for yourself first and entertain yourself first. Because if you can't entertain yourself, then you can't hold or hope to hold anyone else's attention through your story. And that's pretty much it for this side, this first entry into Inside the Writer's Studio. My studio is very grand, as you can tell. It's a garage. If you couldn't tell, it's a garage. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this first entry into Inside the Writer's Studio. I will be doing this with editing and a better camera next time. Thank you. Have a good day.